Today, I wanted to talk about something that I saw a couple of days ago. I was on TikTok, surfing, looking for inspiration, looking for ideas and content. I came across this old black and white footage of this gentleman talking about life. And he said something very simple. He said, why would I be pessimistic in life? Why would I be pessimistic in life when I'm alive? And I was like, let me rewind that, man. What's he talking about? And I watched the clip again. And he said it again. He said, why would I be pessimistic about life? Why would I look at it in a different way or a negative way when I'm alive? I might be upset or sad or hate and be negative. If I'm dead, I wouldn't know it. But the fact that I'm alive, the fact that I'm up, the fact that I'm out of bed and I'm doing things, I can't be pessimistic about anything. And I remember going to bed that night thinking about what he just said. And this idea of being pessimistic or down and out. And the last 3-4 weeks, that's been sort of in my head, you know. And when I watched this video, I was like, it's an interesting way to connect the dots, because I think Gary Vee said it, you know, we are, our probability of being born a human is like 1 in a trillion or something crazy. Like it's an incredible odds to be born as a human. Of all the life forms, from the little tiny ants to, you know, the big whales, if you're lucky enough to win the lottery of life and can win and are born as a human, you get the gift of thought, you get the gift of mind, which a lot of other beings don't have it. You know, a dog can only be a dog, a fish can only be a fish, a tree is only a tree. But we have the innate ability, the gift to use our mind as human beings to beat anything we come up against or become anyone that we want to become. And when that sinks in and you're like, man, I got out of bed today, I am the highest form of life possible, human, and I have one of the greatest gifts ever designed, my mind. And if that sinks in a non like cheesy way, that we are born human and our greatest asset is our mind, and that we can do whatever we want with it because we have the highest form of living, highest being, the human body, the human capacity to innovate, then you got to start thinking about, well, how am I training this mind? You know, because so much of like the world is surrounded by like physical appearance. You know, your the different 1,000 types of diets, clothing and attire and cars and shoes, fitness gurus want to teach you how to get a 6-pack. I Googled once in the last month how to get rid of COVID weight and how to get 1 ab back. And I cookied myself somehow, and every single day, guys, a dozen fitness ads pop up on all over my feed. I'm being retargeted like crazy. Everybody wants to teach me how to get a 6-pack in 1 week, in 6 days, in 30 days. It's overwhelming, you know? But I was thinking about that. I said, man, this guy is so right. You know, if we have the gift to get up in the morning, and we're getting up as the highest form of life possible, a human, and our greatest strength over anything else is our mind, then what is mental fitness? And it's not training only, going to school and learning something that becomes your career. Totally awesome. That is an academic skill acquisition, and in doing so, you're training your brain to learn skills that you can give back to society. You know, we have to give back to society. We have to live together and help each other out. We need the doctors and nurses to take care of us We need the engineers to build up things. We need chefs to allow us to like make us food to eat. Everybody's got a role in society, from the coaches to the singers to the musicians to the artists. We all have a role to contribute to the total well-being of the planet. But what is mental health? And I went down this really like interesting rabbit hole thinking about this stuff because I'm very conscious, as those of you that follow me, what I let into my brain. It's my ultimate defense wall, right? Like I want to protect everything that goes in, so whatever comes out is fully structured, valuable, thoughtful. So I'm very conscious about like what I let in as often as possible. And I've broken down into the 4 things, what you see, what you hear, what you taste, and what you touch. And these are senses that all of us learn about in school, but we forget what it does to our mental fitness. And the minute you wake up in the morning and you open your eyes, hopefully you're practicing gratitude. I've been talking about it since this show started. Every single morning, spend that 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, the longer the better, to be grateful. And if you don't know how to get started, DM me and I'll send you a worksheet for free that you can use to start. It's a 7-day challenge, and I guarantee you, if you do it for 7 days, 7 straight days of gratitude, whether first thing in the morning or the last thing you do before you go to bed, your life will dramatically change. Your energy will change, which will attract different things into your life. And so if you're not doing it, do it. But as the minute you open your eyes, everything you see, everything you touch, everything you taste, everything you feel is training your body and your mind. The filters we create for ourselves about the world we live in comes through those 4 senses. Those are no other way. Everything that you think you know, or the way you see the world, and how you interpret it, and how you deal with it, and how you react to it, it's all coming from those 4 things. What you see, what you taste, what you hear, and what you touch. And that's our input sources, right? Think about it. Garbage in, garbage out, awesome in, awesome out, right? So if those 4 are toxic, if those 4 are unhealthy, then what's going into you and training your mind and your mental fitness is stuff that defines who you are. And then what you share with everybody you meet, whether it's your sibling, whether it's your family, whether it's your significant other, your co-workers, a stranger that you see on the streets as you take, the transportation to work, all of those moments gets through this filter. And the filter is, for me, the mental fitness part of what you have to do every single day. And if you're consciously creating a wall that lets in the things that are important to you, and what you see, what you hear, what you touch, and what you eat, then what's going into you, into your brain, really helps you understand what you're seeing. I'll give you a simple example. I wanted to get out of my social media addiction. It's a weird double-edged sword for me because I need to be on it for the work I do and the people I work with and sort of the world I'm paying attention to. But at the same time, I'm letting in a ton of toxicity through social media. And I didn't really know how to filter it. So for about a month, I said, I'm going to not be online until the very end of the day. Like, I'm not going to toxify my brain. I'm going to get off of it. So from 9 a.m. when I get up all the way to before I go to bed, the last 15, 20 minutes, I'll not be on social media. And I'll take a bit of that hit, see what's up, catch up with people, and then go to bed. I did this every single day for a month just to see what happens to my mind. And it was really interesting because what I realized is after looking at, what happened for the 30 days, my sleep pattern was messed up because the very last thing I was putting into my brain before I turned off for the night was toxicity. Even though there was a lot of inspiration in it, seeing my friends and seeing, my sister and seeing some of the stuff that Layla put up, To find the gems in social media, I got to get through the toxicity of other people's noise. You can't avoid it. You got to scroll, you got to find, you got to do stuff. And I realized my sleep pattern was subconsciously hurt because what I was letting in as the final step before I went to bed stayed in my brain and my consciousness when I was sleeping. And then, without plan, my mornings became more and more sluggish because I woke up with this stuff in my head. I said, man, that's interesting because if I put it in late in the night, it affects my nighttime and my morning the next day. So I killed that after a month. And I went back to first thing in the morning. Because then I get to get a hit of what happened yesterday. And then I get the rest of the day to override that content. And I pick very specific moments during the day to step into social media, check it out, and then I'm out. And I never do it too late in the day because if there's nothing else to layer on top, I don't want that noise to be the last thing I hear. Same thing with starting to read more. You know, you want to get to know the world, you want to expand your horizons, you got to read. And I have a reading disability. Words scare me. When I'm reading a page, I can go through 3, 4, 5 pages and not understand what the hell I read. And it's a problem and a challenge that I've had all my life. Nobody understood it. Nobody helped me with it because they just thought I was a bad student. And as you guys know, coming from a South Asian family, they just try to beat it out of you. You know, if I hit you harder, you can read better. And that wasn't the case. And so I've had this learning disability for most of my life. And fear works. And I'm not tackling that. Because the more I read, the more my mind opens up to new possibilities and new ideas, the more I see other people's version of the world, and I get to choose if that's the version I like or not. So I'm battling it. I'm a slow reader, man. I'm so slow. Getting through 3, 4, 5 pages is incredibly painful for me. What up? Good morning, everybody. I'm talking about mental fitness today. And I used to hide it. You know, I used to say no to speaking gigs. I used to say no to hosting shows because I was afraid that I'll be forced to read a teleprompter. I'll be forced to read a piece of paper, and my learning disability would creep up, and then I will mess it up and I'll say something wrong. And one of the earliest times I recognized this when I was and I think it was grade 6, grade 5 maybe, and I was reading, and you know, they forced you to read out loud in class, and until that nobody really knew what problem I had or what my challenges were. But I remember reading something and I said, you know, in the year 1942, something happened. And in my head, nothing really mattered. And then at the end, a bunch of people snickering at me and laughing. And I was like, what did I say wrong? And then somebody was like, 1942, bro, it's 1942. I was like, oh shit, you're right. Like, you pronounced it 1942, but my head saw it as 1942. So that's how I read it, you know. In the year 1942, so-and-so conquered the world. And that bit of jabber and getting made fun of really shut me down. And I became self-conscious about my ability to read. So it took years and years to learn and practice and get better at understanding words printed on a piece of paper. Today I'm much better at it, but I've got a long way to go. So I really control what I read, because when it gets in, it lives there forever for me, right? So that's totally, totally important. And so that's what mental fitness is, man. You know, and when you think about like why pursue any type of fitness, whether it's physical fitness, mental fitness, we are looking to improve our state of mind, our state of being. You know, you work out every single day. It forces you to eat better. Why would you cheat on yourself when you're putting in the pain on your body, right? And when your body is healthier, you get more opportunities in life. You get to do things longer. You get to, you know, experience the world. You're not in pain. You're not in crutches. You're not, you know, low stamina. And so We work out because we know the benefit of it. But we don't know the benefit. We can't see the visible benefit of mental fitness. Just because you read 2 books in a month or listened to some really interesting motivational conversation or protected yourself doesn't mean you can see a dramatic improvement immediately. Your muscles don't get bigger. Your head doesn't get bigger. But what you'll start to pay attention to is the quality of your decisions improve. The quality of your decision making improves with mental fitness. And that's what I've noticed. The more I started to read, even if I don't finish the book, I've got maybe 300 books in my office and another couple hundred books at home, and I've read most of them, pieces at a time. I can't tell you the author's name. I can't tell you, much more about, like, even sometimes I don't remember the title, but I know what I got out of the book, right? And I'm okay with it. Some of the interviews I've done in my past, and people ask me, so what are you reading right now? What was your favorite author? I'm like, honestly, I can't tell you, but I can tell you the lessons I got from reading, the stories and the inspiration and the insights and the game plans and the blueprints that I received that I'm happy to share. But I know my brain doesn't remember a lot of those kind of details, and so I choose not to chase it, which allows me to free up that anxiety and replace it by inspiration. So how do you know if mental fitness is working? That was my question, a month ago. Sure, I'm waking up in the morning now and talking to you guys every day. I'm guarding the content I put into my head. I'm conscious of what I eat. I'm conscious of the people I surround myself with and what narrative I let enter into my head. I've been more confident now in telling people I can't engage in a conversation with you. How many of us have been in conversations where the other person talking is just full of shit, or has got an opinion that's very biased, or they do, those people that say, look, they tell a joke, but it's like, but I'm not a racist, or but I'm not this guy, but I have a joke. We let it slide, but it enters your brain. So I've now found the courage to say, hey, that's not funny, so I choose not to engage with you, or I'm not going to take your call because it's going to be something that brings me down, or I'm not going to be friends with you because you don't add anything to me and I don't know how I can add anything to you. And that is okay, because protecting your mind every single day is one of the hardest, most important job you can do, because the impact of a strong mind is not something you'll feel right away. But when you look back in the history of decisions you make, you realize that you're making more thoughtful, conscious decisions because your mental fitness is happening. And they're correlated, The same way you feel when you work out and go to the gym 3 to 4 days and your confidence level goes up, you sit up a little straighter, you button up your shirt, you're showing off your muscles, you walk with that little bit of a swagger, because you feel good. You got that like mojo happening, you got that flow, you got that I got that workout pain happening. We all know it. Everything just feels a little nicer. Everything fits a little better. But you got to get to the gym every single day to feel like that. And when you don't, you know how you feel the opposite. You kind of slump down and, oh man, that's cool. Kind of an attitude. Similarly, when you work on your mind and your mental fitness and you really guard what you hear, what you eat, what you see, and what you feel, and know that you can control it, because you, as Gary Vee says, had a 1 in a trillion chance to be born as a human, which is the highest form of life we can aspire to be, because we get the benefit of the greatest weapon, the greatest arsenal, the greatest gift, our mind, which no other species can control. And mental fitness has to be as important, if not more important, than your physical appearance. Because a strong mind allows you to do literally whatever you want, You've got the strength to dream it, work on it, manifest it, and then do it all over again as often as you want. And that, for me, is something that I hope I can pass on to my kids, everybody that I take on as a coach. And I've got a very small business. It's not a pitch on my coaching life or my coaching business. I'm still learning how to do this. But I decided a couple of years ago that, man, if I can take my formula and help a bunch of folks in their mode, why not? And if that's called a coach, then cool, let's do it. And that's what we start with. We say, hey, let's break down your lifestyle and understand your mental strength and your physical strength. And I can pretty much map a roadmap or create a map that tells you if you want to get to a different space in life, whether it's a better job, a better self-confidence, better self-perception, better, love of yourself, whatever it is that you want to be better at. You can take those two things, physical fitness and mental fitness, and very quickly understand from what you're doing today how far the gap is to where you want to go. And the best part, guys, to close this morning off, the best part is no matter how big the gap is 100% achievable. If you heard anything today, remember that. No matter where you are in your physical and mental fitness today, it doesn't matter how crazy big your dream is, you could 100% achieve it. Maybe not in a week, maybe not in a month. For some people, the journey is years and years and years. But there is 100% opportunity to close the gap and get to the level you want to get to. And that, for me, is the greatest secret nobody told us about. That we are not fixed, we are not etched in stone, we are not stuck in concrete. You graduated as a doctor and you hate it and you want to be a teacher, go do it. You're in a relationship that sucks and it drains you, leave it. You have people in your circle who you grew up with and you no longer like them, move on. You're so inundated with owning that Gucci bag. Go buy it. Spend the money and you'll make more. But that's the greatest secret that we're not taught early enough, that we learn much later in life. I wish I had known this when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, when I'm being forced into this little cube of what my life is going to be for the rest of my life. Imagine by 13, 14, 15, you're pretty much told this is your life. And we're still do that with people. We still do that with people to go, oh, by the time you get into grade 8, grade 9, 13, 14, decide what you're going to be in the next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. Work on that, and that's your life. And any change in between is a huge disappointment to other people. And that's what it is, man. So for those of you that came at the end, please go listen to the first half. We started by talking about a clip that I saw. The guy was like, why would I ever be pessimistic? I'm alive. And I was like, whoa, what did you just say? And then that took me down this interesting path of thinking about this idea of being alive. And not only just being alive, but being alive as a human. And not only being alive as a human, but understanding that your greatest gift as a human is your mind. Something that we can control. The other species can't. A dog will be a dog, a fish will be a fish, a monkey will be a monkey, and a lion will be a lion. You can't change who you are, but we as humans can. In the last 25 years, depending on when you met me, you met Satish Bala, the programmer. You met Satish Bala, the CEO. You met Satish Bala, the investor. You met Satish Bala, the DJ. You met Satish Bala, the MC. You met Satish Bala, the festival director. You met Satish Bala. And each one of those persons you met was created with a lot of work and design and focus on physical and mental health. because it's 100% possible. And that's what I'm hoping you guys got out of today's conversation. And I hope you take mental fitness really, really seriously. It is the easiest way to take control over your goals. And it's the easiest way to appreciate being what we are, man. Being born humans with a mind that allows us to manifest anything that we want. And know that whatever it is that you want, regardless of how far away and big and grand the goal is, you can 100% achieve it. It's not going to be easy, but it's not impossible. I'm out. Comment below if you enjoyed this conversation. Feel free to reach out any time that you need help with. My number's out there, my email's out there. This is my ultimate dream, which is to serve. And you guys showing up and listening and commenting, getting in touch with me is something I appreciate and I love, and I can't thank you enough. So have a great day. Be conscious of what you listen to, what you eat, what you touch, what you feel. Really focus on mental fitness. And do not be held back by your disabilities. I know some of you commented that you have similar learning disabilities. The word disability is created to remind us of something we're not good at. So understand it and work on it, but do not become the label. We do not have a disability, okay? We have a different way we learn and we absorb. That's it. We're different. We're not disabled. So go forward. Protect your mind. Focus on your mental health. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.